Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Taranil, Executive Editor at The Fast Mode, and joining us today is Vishnu Ram, Vice Chair ITUT Focus Group on Autonomous Networks. Vishnu has over 21 years of hands-on experience in the telecoms industry with 14 international granted patents. Vishnu recently attended Huawei's Global Mobile Broadband Forum 2024, which took place from the 30th to the 31st of October in Istanbul, Turkey. The event, themed 5.5G leads mobile AI era, featured discussions on 5.5G's role in advancing intelligent applications with live demonstrations of cutting-edge mobile AI technologies across various industries. Great to have you on the session, Vishnu.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Tara, and a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for the invitation.
Okay, in July this year, the ITU published a report titled AI for Good, Innovate for Impact 2024 at the World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai. The report outlined use cases on how AI furthers the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and generated over 200 use case submissions from 38 countries. The use cases featured in the report are currently being refined by experts under the ITU's AI Scholar program. Our first question for today is, can you tell us more about the report? Can you share some of the key themes or trends from the submissions that you find are most promising?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. So this report, ITU conducted a detailed study of 5G advanced and AI impacts for both network as well as applications and services. So the aim of the report is to compile and publish AI for Good, Innovate for Impact use cases along with analysis. This analysis was published, as you said, in WAIC, World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai in 2024. Now, the use cases were 219. We had 219 submissions from across 38 countries. And it touched upon crucial areas of sustainable development goals, including AI and networks, how to solve or achieve the sustainable development goals using AI and networks. For example, good health, sustainable cities, climate action, industry, how to provide equality and such sustainable development goals which are related by UN, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Now, at the end of this compilation took us quite some time, but ITU welcomed 13 AI for Good scholars, as we called as AI for Good scholars, with complete scholarship and expenses paid. We selected these from 118 applicants to refine these innovative use cases in our program, which is called AI Scholars Program. These use cases spanned across healthcare, accessibility. Some of these interesting use cases come from regions such as Bangladesh, India, China, United States, and Europe. There are several use cases which are derived from real-life problems trying to solve sustainable development goals. For example, disaster prevention is a very important use case for us. These are derived from real-life applications and scenarios contributed to ITU, refined by these AI for Good scholars. The aim was to publish them in a manner that it provides a baseline report for how to solve sustainable development goals, how to achieve sustainable development goals using AI and 5G and 6G networks. That was the aim.
Mm-hmm. Well, interesting looking at the breadth of areas that AI is going to contribute to. So let's shift the discussion to now our core area, which is the mobile technology. Okay, 5.5G is a major focus in the industry right now. Can you explain what distinguishes 5.5 4G from 5G, and how it could potentially transform user experiences and industry operations?
Great question again. Thank you, Tara. I think the major difference, of course, everybody knows there is a difference between 5G and 5.5G. As the generations evolve, you come across features, advanced high data speeds, lower latencies, capacity improvements, and so on. But for us, from ITU perspective and from our membership perspective, especially in developing regions, our major focus will be how can we provide innovative applications? How can we touch the users' lives? How can we enrich to provide that extra ability to provide new innovative applications and services to make the user's life better? That is our first difference between 5.5G and 5G. Using the technical capabilities that the technology brings to the table, for example, advanced high data speeds, lower latencies, capacity improvements, coverage improvements, mobility improvements, and so on. But at the same time, how can we, first of all, make the user's life better? Second of all, how can we make the operator's life better? So we need to balance both these capabilities to make sure that network management optimization is not a pain for operators, but at the same time, ability to provide advanced applications, to provide this enrichment for the users to make their life better. This is the key difference for us. And then there are two more capabilities. One is the integration of AI, and then deployment capabilities of these intelligence services. These are important for us because that has become the fabric of the advanced networks now. Ability to integrate the latest AI models, and you wouldn't believe the chatbots, AI agents, and the advanced services that we have has been contributed as part of the use cases to ITU from different regions, including China, Japan, US, Europe, and so on. The researchers have come to us to provide these as baseline use cases on how to integrate these latest AI capabilities, including large language models and AI agents, generative AI, whatever we are talking about in the hotspot right now. But at the same time, how can we integrate this along with the capabilities of 5.5G advanced networks to make the user's life better and deploy them in a manner such that you have operators are not at pains to manage these services.
Okay. Those are some very exciting use cases that you have just mentioned. We note that the ITUT focus group on AI native networks is exploring a future where AI is deeply embedded in the core of telecom networks. Can you elaborate on how AI nativity differs from AI enhanced networks and what new possibilities it opens up?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. So when you look at the how to integrate AI capabilities, so we talked about how can we provide advanced services and applications to the user using AI, using the capabilities of the networks. But when we look at making these networks, developing these networks, managing these networks, integrating these AI capabilities in the networks, there are two ways of doing this. We have been studying this in ITU for the last 5 or 6 years along with our members, and we see there are mainly two possibilities. First one is that you make an add-on, you make an overlay, and that capabilities in the overlay are integrated using a set of APIs into the network. That's the first one. This is what we studied. ITU has a recommendation, in fact, Y.3172, of which I'm very familiar with. In fact, I was one of the editors. That one looks at how to integrate the capabilities using an overlay mode. Now, the situation has changed. Technology has evolved over a period of time. At this point, we are looking at native integration of capabilities. The best analogy that I can give you is that of a cloud native function. The cloud native functions basically provide you with the similar functions as non-cloud native traditional monolithic functions itself. But at the same time, they are developed, managed, and integrated using the latest capabilities of the cloud, including edge and core and open architectures and so on, into the network, right? So using the same analogy, the AI capabilities which are out there coming from the latest research labs across the world, we would like to natively build it into the network. When we design the network, when we design the advanced features in the network, they are designed with these AI capabilities in mind. For example, data collection and pre-processing and modeling and inference and pre-processing and policy measures, the guardrails which you put in so that there is no hallucination, there are no security privacy breaches, and then looking at how do you distribute these inferences in various parts of the network. These measures, when you look at, when you design the advanced networks, you have these capabilities in mind, and when you operate the network, when you optimize the network, and when you integrate these functions, you build the functions with these in mind. It's not only building, management, operation, and optimization, it's also a question of how you look at what is the way in which we design these networks itself. So innate capabilities of the network using AI changes with native AI. The focus group that you talked about is a very good forum. It's an open forum. It is chaired by my great colleague from Turkcell, Ms. Buza Belgin is the chair of the focus group, and it's a great forum to study some of these capabilities of AI native networks.
Okay, so yeah, you explained very well how an AI native network would differ from AI enhanced. I think it's going to be a very huge theme in the coming months, and people will be looking out how the difference really impacts their networks and what can they expect from it. Okay, back to the earlier discussion that we had. On 5.5G. So we know that 5.5G is going to be the next enhancements to the mobile networks we have. So, and then we have AI on one side. So specifically for 5.5G, how will AI be enhancing it? Is there a strong, close tie between AI and 5G in this sense? And any specific use cases highlighted in the report that you can share with us?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I would like to take a couple of examples. So the first one is from our colleagues from China Telecom. So they have given us a very unique use case. China Telecom, of course, is a large operator. So they have technicians. You can see this report. You can see this use case in our report. They have a large number of technicians who go out to the field and solve problems in the networks and so on, right? But at the same time, these technicians would need real-time help in some cases. I have managed networks. I have debugged problems in the network, so I know what the real pain is. If we are able to provide a headset, an augmented reality headset for these technicians who can go and solve problems at the same time, get context specific help projected on their headsets when they look at some of these network cables or devices or network functions or even the logs and alarms which are happening in the field. They are given at the real time, in real time, context specific help from experts as well as models, AI models, who infer and look at what could be the root cause. The root cause analysis, anomaly detection, as we call in theory, right? that is brought to practice here by using these technologies, including 5G, because the connectivity for these AR headsets, where does that come from? The headsets are connectivity is provided by the network, right? So you need real-time feedback as to what the technician is looking at. They need to process it, infer it, and then pass to a policy, and then look at how to project this in the headset without a latency, without the technician really even noticing. She doesn't even notice the difference between a normal glass that I'm wearing versus what the technician is being projected at. This is a very good use case for us. This is absolutely which combines the capabilities of pushing the envelope as far as technology is concerned, bringing the best capability of the network is concerned, AI capabilities including anomaly detection and the latest models of inference, image processing, text processing is a great use case for us. The second use case that I would like to take is from our colleagues in Cambodia. The Cambodians have a problem. The problem is that they have healthcare professionals are not available in certain parts of the country. I mean, this is not a specific problem for Cambodia. We have everywhere the lack of quality healthcare. This is one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, by the way. So now healthcare to provide utilizing AI and networks. This is the question that they were asking. If you see our report, Cambodia has solved this problem using a chatbot. So this is not a generic chatbot, but this one is specifically trained to answer in regional context using the Khmer language, regional specific customizations included as on how to respond to these healthcare specific queries. You are supervised, the model is supervised and vetted by experts. So this is the problem that they are trying to solve in rural Cambodia by providing this application over the 5G networks. Those are very good examples for us, and we thank the contributors for providing this to us.
Wow, that's brilliant. So we have seen how AI enhances 5G, 5.5G, and of course also 5G networks. So flipping the script a little, how will 5.5G enable now real-time AI-driven applications? Because there are so many applications now that are going to be using AI, given the AI capabilities that we have. So we have things like autonomous driving, AR, and remote healthcare solutions. And you have mentioned some. So can you discuss the technical aspects that make 5.5G suited for these demanding applications?
Absolutely. That's another great question. Thank you. So we when ITU looks at the capabilities of 5.5G to provide these services and AI, bringing the latest technology to the users as well as operators, we look at how can we look at it in the form of use cases. There are two types of use cases. One which touches the end users, and another which touches the manageability aspects, operational aspects for the operators. So we look at it from the perspective of these two important stakeholders for us. And when there are latest advances in AI models or algorithms from our academia partners, many of our members, ITU members, including the focus group members, contributors, are the latest researchers. They do the latest research from academia. It's an open forum. And this brings the meeting point behind between operators and academia and research groups. So going back to your question, to integrate, to bring into practice what is theory, the latest models, the glossy, latest, shining models which comes out of the laboratories, the labs, so to speak. And from there to the deployment, that's the question that you are asking. I think there are six major things that we look at. One is, how can we collect data from the networks without compromising privacy of the users, without compromising security for the operator, and provide inference capabilities in a sandbox. This is what we have done in ITU standards, to provide a framework for collecting data within privacy protected in this networks in a sandbox managed by the operator. This is what Y.3172 that I talked to you is about. As well as we also look at how can we provide the tool sets which are required for the operator and developers of these applications to integrate and build the latest models, serve them in the network. This, by the way, is another ITU specification and standard which I had the chance of working with our colleagues in China to build this specification and standards. The next one is, of course, the sandbox and the research and the open source code, open code, which is built along with the pipeline, implementing the pipeline. So this is another important aspect, which is a key factor, as we call it, in enabling integration of these latest shiny toys, which comes out of the labs into a practical environment provided by the 5G or 5.5G or even 6G, to make sure that there is value which is provided, extracted and provided by the operators to the end users. At the same time, optimization and deployment capabilities are provided to the operators. These are the major factors which we look at when answering your question, Tara.
Okay, great. Wow, that's really a great explanation, of how both 5.5G work with AI and vice versa. Okay, so given all this potential of AI and 5.5G to impact society widely, how do you envision these technologies contributing to some of the very popularly discussed social issues like inequality and sustainable development?
That's a great question too. I want to take another example. So there is a professor that we work with, one of our members, and this is my favorite example. We work with academia. I'm one of the mentors for the academia in ITU, and the professor and his team of students, of course, and they look at how can we train models, the large or small, whatever that may be, how can we train models to provide access to newcomers to the technology, answer their questions, and make sure that they are able to build their expertise and contribute to the society. At the same time, you're able to build technology locally, regionally. This is the question that they are trying to ask. So as part of this, what they are trying to do is to build a knowledge base. It's a really interesting project. Build a knowledge base, open knowledge base actually, and crowdsource these solutions, applications on top of the knowledge base. So you might, as an operator, as another academia across the continent, you might actually look at how can I build a chatbot or an agent or a generative AI solution on top of this knowledge base. So it provides a fundamental solution, a foundational solution, which can be extended based on context. This is a prime example for us. It is provided by one of our professor colleagues in Africa, and they are working on this actively. In fact, it is one of the proposals for the focus group to take it forward as well. So this is a prime example for us to answer your question, that how can we bring these new technologies into emerging markets, emerging regions such as Africa, India, China, and such areas where we are able to bring this and new technologies, the latest AI models, By building the knowledge base, we are able to solve these issues of providing the bridge, the standardization gap, bridging the standardization gap, as we call it in ITU. This is the way we look at combining technology with networks to achieve sustainable development goals.
Okay, great. Yeah, you did. You just mentioned about standards, and that's something that we would like to know more. So, what role do standards such as ITU's Y.3061 on autonomous networks play in enabling a seamless integration of AI with 5.5G? Why is standardization important for the industry's future?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a question which is often asked to us, and it's a really important question as well. The question is, why do you need standardization? The standardization is required when you have moving parts. So when you have two vendors and you want to integrate those solutions and they need to work together, that's when you need standardization. And 5G as well as advanced networks which are coming now are the best examples of these moving parts. So now we look at autonomous networks where there is a bunch of capabilities, a bunch of technologies which have been provided, built by different providers. And if you look at our architecture framework, it has several moving parts. You have a knowledge base, you have an orchestrator, you have underlying networks, and so on. So if you look at the interfaces between them, the lines which go in our pictures between the different blocks, architectural blocks, those are all moving parts for us. For us, is important that we are able to sit around the table, discuss these interfaces and capabilities between the Tom and the Jerry, as I always say. The Tom and Jerry always chase each other, as you know. So, but at the same time, within the ITU, they sit around the table and make standards because they know that to build these networks, to build these solutions together, to provide this to the end users and operators, it is important to build these together in a way that it works plug and play. So you're able to integrate these solutions, build these frameworks in a manner that has lesser pain, integration pains. So that is why we look at standards, and Y.3061 is a very good example which you brought up. The autonomous networks framework that has these different capabilities to build latest network solutions, evolving these solutions using the knowledge which is there in the network, at the same time adapting it for new solutions. For example, optimizations, self-healing, debugging. These are some of the use cases that has been provided to us. For these use cases, to solve these use cases using these blocks, and that is important for us to how to optimize the networks, how to do self-healing using the blocks provided by different vendors. Do they work together? That's the interoperability problem that we are trying to solve using Y.3061. And one last point, this is not in paper alone. We have a proof of concept part which looks at putting all these together, building really working solutions. So there has been demos which has been part of the focus group, and I'm again one of the mentors for the proof of concept. We have got teams coming from around the world. We call it a build-a-thon. It's like a hackathon, but at the same time we build things. So we look at it as a build-a-thon. That's where we vet these theoretical solutions to make sure that Y.3061 really works in the field.
Wow, that's really a brilliant lineup of new ideas as well as POCs and works that you guys have in the pipeline, which I think will make a huge difference in how the industry progresses in terms of the use of AI in today's networks, and not just for 5.5G, but beyond that to 6G and beyond. So I think, Vishnu, we had some really great discussion, and we really appreciate these insights that you have shared with us, especially, you know, the interworking between AI and 5.5G. We know from what you have explained that it's not a one-way, it's not AI for 5.5G or 5.5G for AI, but it's between both of them. There's so much dynamism and how they contribute to each other. So really, thank you so much for these insights.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
And for everyone tuning in, to read the report, visit aiforgood.it/newsroom/publications-and-reports. And for more updates from the Mobile Broadband Forum, visit www.thefastmode.com/Huawei-global-MBB-forum-2024. The link is in the description. And follow us for more updates and insights as we continue to uncover the latest in technology and telecommunications. See you in our next session.